Good afternoon. People are running out of fresh water, but our planet is nearly covered with salt water. So why can't we just tap the seas with desalination to solve the world's water crisis? Desalination is a growing business and a growing part of our water supply, but it is out of reach for many people in industries because of the reliance on decades-old technologies with two major problems. It's extremely energy intensive and so expensive, and the byproduct is an environmentally damaging brine waste concentrate, which is usually dumped back to the seas, where it creates dead zones. SeaChange Technologies solves these problems. We've developed water purification and desalination systems based on our patented approach. Our mechanical systems have the flexibility to purify seawater or the most concentrated industrial brines, and we do it with half the energy of existing technologies, producing clean water and environmentally friendly, and maybe even a valuable commodity itself, the dry waste. When I talk about these savings, people are skeptical. Everyone's heard that a watched pot never boils. And what's implicit in that is that it takes a lot of energy to boil water. And that's the basis for the energies used in existing technologies. But here's the thing. You don't need to boil water to evaporate it. If you have a cup of water in front of you now, it is evaporating, just slowly. But if you spilled it, it would evaporate more quickly. Not because you put more energy or heat into it, but it just has more surface area. Likewise, if you took it to the top of a mountain, it would evaporate more quickly because there's less air pressure pushing it back in. We employ these non-thermal effects. We turn water into a mist mechanically, which takes very little energy and increases its surface area dramatically, and then subject it to low air pressure to evaporate it. Here's how we do it. We turn it into a mist first. We have a vacuum pump at the other end of our system, which subjects that mist to low air pressure and evaporates it. And then we pull that mix through a cyclonic separator, which, like your Dyson vacuum cleaner, separates out all the dust. And what we pull out is clean water vapor, which we can then recompress into clean water. When we take these simple, proven mechanical systems and put them together, we change the very difficult water cleaning problem into a much easier air cleaning problem. I came up with this idea about 2 years ago and have been working since to turn it into a viable business. Earlier this year, we won first place at University of Texas Energy Institute Startup Competition. And when we won that $15,000, we said we'd use that money to prove that this idea could really be done. And this past summer, that's exactly what we've done. Scrounging from wherever we could, we put together a mobile prototype, and we've been taking it on the road to show people that we're for real and that we can take water, we can take the most concentrated industrial brines or muck straight out of North Carolina's intercoastal waterway and make water that you would want to drink. Our vision is to create a sustainable source of water for humanity. To get to market as a startup, we're focused on developing a solution for an industry that is struggling to dispose of massive quantities of brine waste every day, and that's U.S. oil and gas producers. The U.S. is the world's #1 oil producer, but we're also the #1 producer of the brine waste, the brine byproduct that comes out of the ground with it. This is saturated brine with about 3 pounds of salt per gallon, and no other technology can touch it. Their current method of disposal is simply to inject it back into the ground, which is expensive and controversial, costing over $150 billion in the U.S. alone annually, and causing earthquakes in places like Ohio and Oklahoma. We can take that regulated waste and turn it into fresh water for a fraction of the cost. My team has expertise in research and development and engineering and executive advisors from a number of international industries, and we're currently recruiting an oil and gas executive to lead our sales and business development efforts. We've made a lot of progress over the past 2 years, starting with just an idea, working up to proof of concept, Over the past 12 weeks with the Raleigh Innovators program, we've developed relationships with customers and are now negotiating pilot placements for next year. We've got a number of challenges ahead, including transitioning and designing and building our commercial prototype and funding for growth and manufacturing. If you'd like to talk about these challenges, the technologies, and how to get people to think differently about water and energy, please get in touch. I'd like to leave you with just one thought. The world's water crisis is getting worse. Business as usual is not turning it around. We need something revolutionary. We need a SeaChange. Thank you.